What's going on, SML? We just had the NFL draft this weekend, so obviously it's time for the way too early mock draft, the SML countdown version. I got Straw and I got AJ here. What's going on, guys? You excited for next cycle already?
Yeah, I'm always this is always an exciting time, man. The draft comes, you see all the new players and it gets you excited for what you hope for Madden 26.
Yeah, before all the disappointment, right? All right, so
Yeah, very excited with especially with all the Ole Miss guys came out of the draft this year. So,
yeah, I mean you've already pretty much locked in on what team you want, and we'll get to that. But
mhm.
I think we'll let you make your pick there. So we'll start with the way we'll do this. We've already discussed it, but just so everybody knows, we're going to alternate who actually makes the pick. We can we can all three discuss who's the best option at one pick, but whoever's actually on the clock for that pick, that's who's going to make the pick. So Straw, we'll start with you for prime. That way, me and AJ both make ours, and if we have to flip flop at some point, so you can make your own pick, since uh, you obviously have a better idea than any of us of who you want to take. But who do you think prime takes? I think to me, it's the Colts. I mean, they got Tyler Warren, they got a Notre Dame quarterback. I mean, if he doesn't want to go with Anthony Richardson because he's bored, it seems like there's plenty there to change it up with.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking around and there's gonna be a ton of smoke screen and stuff, but I don't see how he can't choose the Colts. You still got AR to play with, and they got that great tight end like you just mentioned. I mean, I just don't see how he doesn't pick the Colts. This is like the best time to use them and have fun with them, and I know when there's a young quarterback and a young team, I like trying to have them do in the game what they might not even do in real life. But it also makes it more fun. So I think he's picking the Colts. I say he's going with the Colts.
Yeah. All right. So we'll put the Colts there. For me, I said it as soon as they drafted Quinshawn Judkins, I'm going to go with the Browns. Um, and it could
Yeah, that's a
change.
no-brainer.
Yeah, it could change if I take the Browns in primer, but I don't see that happening. Um, I don't want it to be like when Prime took the Colts in primer, and then I think he made it a season and he was gone. So I don't want to take the Browns in both, and I want to have the Browns next cycle. So I think it'll probably be an SML that I take them. All
I
right,
really I can't see you picking anyone but the Browns,
yeah,
honestly. With the draft haul they got too, I think you're taking the Browns.
yeah, and they have the extra first round pick, which is already something. Like the first thing I do when I look at teams, all right, who's got an extra pick? So them having
Yep.
one made it really easy.
Are you gonna make sure they're usable, or you think Madden's gonna be mean to those attributes?
Honestly, looking at the quarterbacks they have, it's you've got Pickett, there's no way. You've got Flacco, there's no way. You've got Watson, there's no
At
way, because you got to get rid of him to have
least
any
using them
cap.
for a season, I guess.
Yeah, so it's Dylan Gabriel and it's Shitter Sanders, and Sanders is 23 and Gabriel's 24. Um, unless Gabriel comes out and somehow has like great attributes or something, which I doubt. I mean, I think in NCAA he had like 84 throw power. So assuming they stay somewhat close to those, because I mean it's EA. Let's be real. If they've already rated these guys, it's not gonna probably move too much off of that, other than maybe knocking
Yep.
guys down because he's not gonna be Sanders isn't gonna be a 95, but um, they're not gonna get too much better. I don't think so. I think that's probably what it's gonna be is Sanders. All right, AJ, you're on the clock at 3. I know you've said the Giants. Um,
Yep, I've said it publicly, just like I said the Chiefs publicly last cycle. I'm gonna pick the Giants. Um,
Ah.
they drafted my guy Jackson Dart. They added to an already elite defensive line. There's some nice pieces on that team on offense and defense. I think. Plus, I kind of want to switch it up. It was AFC this cycle. Switch over to NFC next cycle.
yeah,
Um, so I think that's a no-brainer.
yeah. I think even without Dart, I mean, obviously you're an Ole Miss guy, so Dart's a big piece there. But I mean, they're a really good defense already. They've got some pieces on offense, so adding him kind of makes it just like a dream team.
Exactly.
All right, so Straw, you're on the clock for Woods here. What do you have Woods doing?
You know what? I mean they're just so good. I have Woods running it back 3 times with the Eagles. I had him take them again. I was looking and I'm like, who's Woods gonna take? There's a lot of things he can do. I think he probably going 3 times with a team is rough, and I don't think he really is fond of Jalen Hurts, but they have so many pieces, and maybe he tries to move on from him earlier this time and do something else. Maybe he tries to trade with Bomber and goes for whoever Bomber doesn't want. So,
Yeah.
I have him going back to the Eagles.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he goes Eagles. I think this could actually be the year he goes Jaguars. I know he said, oh, if I take him, I'm 2 cycles left. But getting Travis Hunter on your favorite team would be really tough to pass up. Um, but I mean, he passed up Trevor Lawrence.
Especially
So
if EA makes him like a dual use guy, it might be kind of fun. And the first time they ever do that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's pretty cool.
I was excited for the Browns to get him, thinking that if they add something like that, it would be kind of neat to use. But he passed up Trevor Lawrence. So if you pass up your favorite team taking the #1 overall quarterback, taking a receiver or corner or whatever you want to call Travis Hunter, really not out of the realm of possibility he passes up on them as well. All right, so then that brings up Dan. I've got Dan taking the Steelers. Um, he was saying that I'm not going to take the Steelers. I'm going to take one of these NFC teams, and he listed a bunch of teams. And Jordan Love is on like a $50 million a year contract, and the Falcons have Penix, who's older, and Dan likes the younger guys. Vikings would kind of fit him, but you've already seen him kind of backtracking when they took Will Howard in the draft, Pittsburgh. That is, he's like, well, if Will Howard's usable, Dan's going back to the Steelers. I've got him going Pittsburgh at 5. All right. Anybody think something different on this one?
No, I actually had Dan back with the Steelers as well. I think he thought they were going to muff up their draft when he was talking about picking somebody else,
Yeah.
like maybe taking a QB in the first or whatever, and they probably
Yeah, I mean, he
might have
listed
steered him away from it.
yeah, he listed the Vikings, the Packers, and the Falcons. With the quarterback situation of the Falcons and the Packers, I don't think he goes there. And the Vikings had basically the most boring draft out of anybody. I mean, they took a guard, and then they only had 3 other picks or 4 other picks, and they all started in the 3rd round or later. So they got nobody. I just don't see him taking that team. I think it's gonna be Steelers.
Yeah, I also had him with Steelers for all the same reasons. So I don't see him going anybody else with Steelers.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is if he goes Steelers and I go Browns, that's 2 people in there that well, one person I guess that he enjoys playing, at least I think. And then if he goes, Packers, Vikings, or Falcons, those are empty divisions. There's nobody there. You can get 3 completely random people. You don't know who you're going to get. So scheduling may not line up if he does that.
Yeah.
But so next up we have Matt. AJ, who do you have Matt taking?
So Matt's teased the Commanders and Seahawks, and I think even the Falcons. But I think he's looking at the board here and he's seeing that he can go ahead and kind of pick who he wants to play in division with. I think he might go Commanders.
Okay.
Um, I think they have enough pieces on defense where he can field an elite defense. Season 1. He can play that card like he can pick the mobile quarterback and like he's doing the league of service.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if he's looking at Seahawks, he's picking a division that you probably have 3 teams that are probably going to pick later in the draft, which may not be appealing to him division wise. And I think you
Yeah.
could say the same thing for the Falcons division. The NFC South, Saints, Bucks, Panthers are not very um, you know teams that anybody's seeking after. So I think they're also going to be late picks. Um, so I think Matt's going to take the Commanders.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Seeing how I didn't have him taking the Commander, I had him taking the Seahawks. But I also didn't have Woods taking the Eagles, and I think if Matt can get you and Woods in a division, I think that would be something he would like. So he would probably take the Commanders. It is funny how he's always doing the league of service when he's taking some of the better teams though. He took the Chargers.
He controls the
And then he
narrative
took,
for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. I mean, some guys would get called out for taking like good teams and stacked teams every time, and he jumps ahead of that narrative, and he's doing it for the league. All right,
Yeah.
so then we have Fins and Straw. It's your pick. I had Fins taking the Dolphins, and then he in chat was like, "Yeah, I'm not taking the Dolphins." So that was when I deleted my entire mock draft. Who do you have Fins taking?
Yeah, so I did have Matt taking the Seahawks too, and then following up with that, I had Fins actually taking the Jags. for the same sort of reasons where I think he's here, and he's looking at who to go with, and I thought that that might be a fun one. I couldn't tell where he might want to go or what he might want to do, so I thought like the Jags, they're the most fun team on the board, and so I thought, hey, Fins is looking at this, and he says, you know what, I'm gonna jump in there, go in the division with Prime and have some fun with the Jags.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, there's nobody in unless you take the Cowboys, which I don't see Finn's taking the Cowboys because there's really not much about them other than Micah Parsons that's appealing. Um, the entire NFC is wide open, and I think Finn's. I don't think that appeals to Finn's not knowing who's going to be in there. At least with the Jaguars, you get Prime, and he does like you said. That's an exciting team. I mean, they always have a good team. Somehow they pick in the top 3 every draft, yet they're always a good team. And I guess that's just maybe EA, the Madden team is in Florida, so maybe there's a little bit of a homer effect there for the Jaguars
Shows
ratings.
you how Jags organization is. They always have good players but never win games.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so next up is KP. This is kind of where I struggled with the draft a little bit. I wasn't sure what KP would want to do. I know he's a Browns fan, so his team's off the board. So now it kind of narrows things down. I thought about okay, and he was already the Packers. I think KP, I could see him going with something like I want to say like a defense. Some team that has a
Yeah, I
good
was
defense.
I think I penciled him in on the Jets.
That's who I had him, and then I kind of talked myself into it because Fields is there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I also had Finns as the Dolphins, and I was like, well, Finns is the Dolphins. They're both on the gameplay committee. That makes sense. But I'm gonna keep him with the Jets, even though there's nobody in that division. Good running back, really a great team. And then at quarterback now you have Justin Fields. KP's an Ohio State fan. You got Fields. It kind of fits.
Yep, elite defense too, and that's what he's probably looking for. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick for KP. Yeah, I think that's really good.
All right. So AJ, you're up with meats.
yeah, this is a tough one because I feel like Meats always keeps it pretty close to the chest as far as who he wants to pick. I think he's going to go NFC this cycle though, since he was AFC last cycle.
Okay.
Um, Meats is going to go with the Lions. He's going to see Jameer Gibbs. He's going to have like 94 speed running back. He seems to like the fast running backs. He had Pollard. He had A-Chain. I think Meats is going to go for the Lions. It's a really good team. He's picking an open division, so it's wide open there. Um, and he's in the NFC. So
Yeah, I think I had him as the Lions as well. For the same reason, the Gibbs really. I mean, Achan Pollard was one that he had a lot of success with Pollard before he started breaking down. And you give him now Gibbs with a much better roster than that Dolphins team had. I mean, I think
hmm
in the NFC, which is already, I think the better teams are in the AFC, regardless of who takes them. The better rosters to start the cycle are going to be in the AFC. So I think I'd call it a top 2, maybe 3, maybe 3 roster in the NFC. I think you got the Eagles, and then it's probably a toss-up between the Lions, Bears, and Packers in the NFC.
hmm
Outside of that, and I think the Lions probably are the better of the group. So I think that's a good pick for Meats. All right, Straw, you got Mike FML.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where Mike might want to go unless he said it in chat and I missed it. But I was thinking about this and Gunslinger Mike, I was like, okay, he wants to keep that train rolling. Where does he go? Where does he start? And so I'm thinking, maybe with this draft, it fell the way it fell. Maybe he'd want to go with the Packers. They got you got Jordan Love. I mean, he has that huge contract, but good quarterback, good, still decently young quarterback with some speed over there. And the way that he's over there slinging the rock, I think that'd be fun. To play with that Packers team if you want to throw the ball. So I thought maybe he's looking at this and he's like, I'll go Packers. Meats just jumped in there and maybe he'll not mind that division.
Yeah, I could see that. Packers. I don't remember. I think he was the Packers not too long ago. But but I don't think that would necessarily stop him. I'm sure the team's quite a bit different now too. Um, I thought maybe the Bears. I was kind of thinking the same thing as you were, like a team that's just really good on offense, so he can just sling it all around. But he also likes his rookie quarterback, so I don't know. But I think the Packers is a good pick for or a good fit for Mike. All right, that means Paulie's up next, and I think this is tough for Paulie, but I think this is actually working out the way I had it in my mock. If the divisions look like this, I mean, Paulie has not had any issues saying he likes to set up his division. I mean, everybody saw his face when you took the Cowboys. He was he was not happy. He was hoping they would fall one more pick, but I think if it falls like this, I think Paulie runs to get the Bears because
We're on the same page there. Yep.
yeah, I mean you get Mike and Meats, who I think he feels like he can definitely win against those two. You still have, you know, the open Vikings, but regardless of where you go, you're going to have an open spot unless you close out the NFC East, where I don't think he wants to play Matt, you, and Woods. Yeah, and he's already number 4 in that division if he does that. And then Bears having the roster they do, Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, they just added was it Burden from the from Missouri, so the offense is going to be really good. I think they added they took the tight end Loveland too at 10, didn't they? From
Mhm.
Michigan. So I mean, the offense is going to be really good there. And then you play Mike and you play Meats. I think he feels as good as he can feel about a division at this point, picking this high.
Right.
All right, so that gives AJ, you're up on Raider fan.
So I think Raider fan might take the Raiders. I think this is, one of the chances he's gotten since he's been here to take his favorite team. That division's empty, so there's nothing to be scared of in it yet. Um, Not that he's has any kind of track record of running from competition or anything because he's picked so late, but I mean it's in his name. He's gonna go Raiders.
Yeah, it's tough to make your PSN Raider fan and then you pick the Saints. I mean, I think that's a pretty easy call there, but who knows? All right, Straw, you're up with Tiny. Tiny just took the Titans, and he's had a rough cycle. He's in the playoffs this year, but um, they just took Cam Ward with the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I don't think you can skip out on Cam Ward if you're a Titans fan. Like that's the same thing with Prime and the Colts. Like Cam, I think you're excited, right? I would assume you got to be excited, and you're gonna go all in and try to run it back and do better with now what supposedly the best QB in the draft.
Yeah, I mean he would. That's what they had to think. I don't know if that's a good thing looking at the quarterbacks that came out, but the only thing you
The
don't think he
Titans.
worries because I know he said he's been getting beat pretty bad this cycle. You think he worries? The obviously prime the Colts and then the Texans with Stavo 2 picks later. He could end up with a prime and Stavo in the division just beating up on him.
I do. That is a really good point. And then it comes to, do you care about your favorite team or jumping out of a really tough division?
Yeah,
Very good point. I mean, he's gotten beat up enough where maybe that's what he's feeling. I mean, he's putting it together this season. So
yeah,
maybe these next couple of seasons, if he can keep that train going, maybe that gives him some confidence.
that's true. If he finishes out the cycle solid, I mean, he might just think I'm walking in on a better Titans team because I have Cam Ward, even though I don't know that he's much better, but yeah, I could see him taking the Titans. So that means next up is Doink, and for me, this was an easy pick, based on the division and the fact that they are one of the teams he likes. I think he takes the Vikings. We've seen him kind of
That's where I had him
hint
as
about
well.
taking them, and then now where you're at, I mean, there's not really a great team there. Vikings are probably one of the better teams, other than the draft wasn't that exciting for them, but you do get J.J. McCarthy, you get Justin Jefferson there. So I think Doink takes the Vikings at 14. All right. AJ, you have Stavo's pick.
All right, I think I really do think Stavo. If this falls like it will, we'll take the Texans. I think
Okay.
he's tired of hearing it from everybody. um, and imagine him hearing it from Prime if he ducks his division from his favorite team. I mean, he'd hear it all cycle again. I don't think he wants to hear it. I think he wants to prove everybody wrong. So I think I got to stop it with the Texans.
Yeah, I think that's the only AFC team he would take. Um, I think if he doesn't take the Texans, I'm not sure where he goes. Maybe Seattle because he can get Milrow and they have a pretty good defense. Um, nobody wants, I don't think, the NFC South. And the Cowboys are one of the
Mm.
least desirable teams, I think, in the game. So that really narrows things down. I could see him taking the Cardinals, or maybe I don't know. I would like to say I could see him taking the Rams because of that extra draft pick that they're going to have, but I don't think he would take the Rams again. They're not a favorite team, and so I don't think he would do that. And it's an empty division. There's really no reason to take him.
Yep.
All right, Straw, you're up with Fig. What do you think Fig does?
Yeah, I think this was, if it fell this way, man, I think I could see Fig taking the Dolphins.
The Dolphins? Okay. For Waddle?
For Waddle, yep, I could see him still going after, a little bit of speed over there. I think they're probably not looking as great. We'll see what Madden does with them after the season that they just had. Maybe they give them some grace because of all the injuries and things, but they're still a pretty fast team overall. Still a lot of great weapons. You still got HN as well. If it fell this way, I mean KP's in that division, so that's already looking a little tough. But I could see him going with the Dolphins.
Okay. I was going to say Chiefs. Similar reason. You get Worthy.
Yeah,
Worthy's
that's
the
where I was
speed
leaning
demon
to.
there. And then you get Mahomes as an upgrade over Tua or Quinn Ewers. But um, same thought process, though. He's going for the fast guy. Um,
Yeah.
so, okay. It looks like you're up next, though, Straw. So we'll just stay with you. You can make your next pick, too.
Mm. If it fell this way, oh man, who would I take? You know, I passed on him last time. I think this time I would come back around. I mean, that division is looking great. We are, a- as much as people probably want to say it, I think I'm a pretty decent scheduler. I'm getting better at it with having a kid now, but I think I'm pretty available.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm going with the
Over.
Bengals. I'm joining Bomber and Dan, and I think that's gonna be a very fun division for sure. So that's probably where I'd go if it fell this way.
Over the Ravens?
Yeah, I'd take them over the Ravens. I'm not. Uh, I like I think I like the Joe Burrow style of passing, even though I'd probably. How old is he now? uh,
27 maybe.
and I really like Jamar Chase as a receiver. That's
Yeah.
probably who I would go with.
I think in the mock, I think I had you taking the Bills. Um, obviously the Eagles were gone, and then I thought, well, he's upstate New York, so maybe he would like the Bills with Josh Allen. But yeah, I could see the Bengals. Um, Ravens, yeah, I think the Bengals are probably more fit you better because you do have the better receivers, kind of a CeeDee Lamb in Jamar Chase, but then you have T Higgins.
Yeah, I feel like they have better offensive weapons than
Yeah,
the Ravens.
yeah, I like that pick. That's a good one, and that means the Bengals don't fall quite as far as last time.
Yeah.
All right, so that
Looks
means
like the Ravens are going to fall though, based on the division.
Right.
yeah. Looking at that,
Scary.
I don't know where they stop. Like that's a tough division to jump into.
Yeah.
And you're already in the AFC that's going to have Prime, Stavo now, according to this. I mean, and KP. So it's a tough division. Gotta though. I think being a Raiders fan, now he's taken the Raiders every opportunity he's had, so I don't think he would want to take any of those other NFC or AFC West teams.
Mm,
Um,
I was thinking Falcons for good.
yeah, you know what?
Maybe.
I I, I think I may have had them too. And the reason being is because of Bijan Robinson and then Kyle Pitts. Assuming Kyle Pitts is still good, which I mean EA is a little slow to knock
He'll be
anybody down.
fast no matter what, though. At
Yeah,
least.
so I mean he can step right into that Brock Bowers role that he's already doing with the Raiders. I mean that's his top guy every year. And now you have Pitts and you have Bijan Robinson. It's going to be better than any running back he's had. And I think at one point he had Michael Penix, which doesn't really mean much because I think he's had just about every quarterback for a little bit. But but yeah, I think the Falcons kind of fit his style, and it's not the AFC West. So
Good.
all right, so AJ, you're up with Damon. Where do you think he goes?
So he hasn't really hinted on who he likes. I know he said he would take the Texans if they fell to him, but
Yeah.
they're not there. So I think Damon would be a good fit on the Seahawks.
Okay.
They have a really good running back. You got Jalen Milrow, so you got your starter quarterback. The defense is nice, really good DBs. It's an empty division, so I got Dame going to the Seahawks.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe the Patriots or the Bills to play KP. Finns is locked in that division, so he can't go there. I don't think he takes the Ravens, being a Steelers fan, and already playing. He was the Browns this year. I mean, you're gonna
Right.
play as all the Steelers rivals before ever getting them. I don't see that happening. So I like that pick. Um, so Straw, you're up with Colt 45.
Yeah, this is tough. I think you look at all I mean, I don't think you're really necessarily picking off a division here. Like, who would you prefer to go and play? Uh not necessarily sure if anything looks favorable. I think Colt really likes to run the ball. And so I'm looking at like where could he have fun with a running back? And I think that Chargers rookie running back it looks like a monster.
Oh,
Dude is
Amarian
huge.
Hampton.
That could be a lot of fun. So maybe he decides to go with the Chargers, test his luck with Raider fan in there and see who else they get in there.
Yeah, and I mean the, that's not even mentioning the biggest piece that they have is Justin Herbert. So it gives him a superstar quarterback, even though he's already let Trevor Lawrence walk for whatever reason. But yeah, I like that. The other team I thought for him, maybe even the Cardinals. He's a guy that likes to use his running back and his tight end, and then usually one receiver. So he'll have like Brian Thompson Jr. right now is like his main receiver, and then it's running back and tight end. And you go to the Cardinals, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, and Trey Benson. So I thought maybe the Cardinals, but yeah, with Raider fan as the Raiders there, I think he might actually see a spot where he thinks he can sneak some wins in too. So I could see him taking the Chargers. And that brings up Colt 46, otherwise known as Noel. These two, they play very similar. They both like their tight ends. And I just don't know. I don't know if he would follow him to the NF or AFC West. So I think I'm going to put Noel actually on the Cardinals. And for the same reason. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Trey Benson. I keep forgetting Trey Benson. But the other thing that, somebody has the option of doing it. If you take the Cardinals, Prime already tried to throw everything he could at DW to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So if you trade him before he's untradeable, you might be able to get a haul back for him. Prime, I'm
Good
sure, will
point.
offer a bunch of first round picks, or maybe he'll offer a backup middle linebacker, and you'll take that because he'll sweet talk you. But I could see Noel taking something like the Cardinals. So that means, Straw, you're up with DW. You've played him this year. He was the Cardinals. Where do you think DW goes?
D-Dub.
Chiefs.
Yeah, that's really what I was thinking. I mean, I'm looking at this board. I think DW is going to the Chiefs. And I think right behind him, Grim was probably hoping that the Chiefs would fall next. I think that's who I had Grim taking if or if it fell this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think DW takes him right before.
Yeah, I could see that. The team I had DW taking actually was going to be the Patriots. And I mean, young quarterback. You've got Christian Gonzalez there. They have a decent defense. And then they have Travion Henderson. I want Travion Henderson.
You want
DW
to
is a
trade
Browns
DW
fan.
to
DW would probably love to have Quinshon Judkins because he's a Browns guy.
Very wishful thinking.
Yeah. Hey, I'm trying. I gotta start planting the seeds early. But So maybe he trades Travion Henderson for a Browns guy, Quinshon Judkins, and I throw in the second round pick or something. But so that's why I had him going to the Patriots. But I like the Chiefs pick there. All right, so that means I get to pick for Grim, and it fell exactly like I wanted for Grim. I think I had it this way in my mock as well. And it might be surprising, but I have Grim taking the Rams solely for one reason. They have an extra first round draft pick. This guy will make his picks. He will then trade everybody he just drafted so that he can get another pick in the next upcoming draft. So I
He's definitely a
absolutely
pick
think,
order.
yeah, he just loves the draft picks. Hell, he'll lose, 12 games a season just so he can have a better draft pick. So I think as soon as he sees the Rams on the board with an extra pick, Grim runs to the Rams.
I like that. That's good.
I mean, it just, when you get this far down in the draft too, you have to look for that like one little thing or something about that
Yeah.
team that you like.
That's hilarious.
My first SML team draft, I picked like 25 or 26, and I took the Jaguars simply because they had an extra pick. I think it was from the Jalen Ramsey trade. And it really sucked too because the guy that had the Rams lost like the first 8 games, and I was all excited. And then RD joined as the Rams, and he ended up like almost making the playoffs, so the pick ended up not as good. But that means AJ, you're up for Soda, who I think I would have also had as the Rams. I actually had to switch him because Grim picked before Soda in this draft.
Yeah, so looking at this, I got Soda narrowed down to either the Broncos or the Bills. And I
Okay.
don't think he wants to be anywhere near KP's division again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna slate him into the Broncos,
Okay.
which is honestly an up and coming team in Madden. They got the quarterback. They should be kind of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
The running back room needs some help, but that's easy to take care of in Madden. They have some really nice defensive pieces. Um, I, I got Soda going to the Broncos.
Yeah, I like that. They just drafted that corner from Texas to pair with Surtain too. So they definitely look good. All right. Straw, you're up with CC.
Yeah, I think I look at these teams, and really it's like obviously the best teams on the board, the Bills and the Ravens, but who wants to go to those divisions? So I think CC goes with the Panthers.
Ooh, okay.
I think the Panthers have a decently young and up and coming team. We'll see what they end up doing with Bryce Young. I think he kind of came on strong a little towards the end there. And then I don't think they've made a lot of like super fun off-season stuff, but I think they do have a good up and coming team that could be fun to rebuild. So I think that CC might go with the Panthers and look at that division and look at who's picking next, and maybe he gets a favorable division as well.
I was actually going to give him the Cowboys. I don't know why. I think he's a Cowboys fan. He may not even
I
be.
think he's a Bengals fan. He's a Bengals
Oh, you know what?
fan.
You're right. He is a Bengals fan. So only one reason to take the Cowboys then, and I figured he would follow AJ. He's kind of got a crush on AJ, so I assumed he would follow him. But so I guess not. He is a Bengals fan. That's true. All right, so that means I'm up with T Steel. T Steel's a Browns fan. T Steel was the Vikings. Browns and Vikings both gone. I don't know how he felt about playing KP and Fig and basically just recreating that NFC North over there in the East. So I think maybe the Bills and the Patriots are out. The Ravens team looks really good, but I don't know if he wants to join that division. I'm going to actually give him the 49ers. I think T Steel wouldn't mind playing Damon. And I think that division with that team, depending, I'll put this little disclaimer out there though. Depending on Brock Purdy's contract, if Brock Purdy comes out and gets like a $60 million a year contract for 6 years or something like that,
the team may be picked bottom 3. Yeah.
I think that team may be picked 33. Somebody whoever's at 32 may not even want to play if they get the 49ers. It would be that bad. They already gave Kittle, I think today, $20 million a year for 4 years. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't even know if he lasts 4 years, so I guess that's a silver lining.
They had a very unconventional draft too.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot of
so
scrutiny from the talking heads.
I think for him, it's more he gets to close out that division. He gets Damon, he gets Grimm, and he gets Nolan. I think he feels comfortable in that group, and then having probably the best roster season one in that group. I don't know about going forward, but I mean, hell, I think most guys right now have 6 guys from the original roster, so it's really probably not a big deal after a couple seasons. All right, so that means AJ, you're up for ZBD. I'm sure he's probably told you in a DM who he wants to take, but
I'm gonna wish this into existence. I've shared 2 divisions with this guy this cycle, so I've had enough of ZBD for a cycle. So plus he gets to pick his favorite team.
yep.
I got ZBD at the Pats.
Yeah, I agree. They don't fall past here. I joked that you probably got a DM saying who he wants to take. I have gotten a DM saying he wants to take the Patriots. So,
And it's the Pats, isn't it?
yeah, and it's the Patriots. So so ZBDA to the Patriots, easy call. We both had the same conclusion there. Uh, so Straw, you
Oh,
have
Star,
Tug
you got
here.
any DMs from ZBD? Do you know?
No,
Do you
no,
know?
no deals from
None yet.
ZBD.
Have y'all played yet?
Yes. I mean, yes, I have. After we played, yes,
Oh, he waited till
but
after. Okay,
He's got a bit of a reputation.
he likes to DM.
oh
All
man.
right, Straw. So you're up with Tug. To me, this was like this was one of the tougher parts of the draft. Like I don't know who any of these guys would want. Tug's already been the Saints. The next pick is Steve. He's been the Bucks. Um, who do you have Tug taking?
Yeah, I mean, if it falls like this, I think Tug is taking the Bills. You know, it's the best team on the
Okay.
board. I mean, you know, you got KP in there, ZBD who plays real tough. Fig also plays tough, but I don't think it's something Tug doesn't think he can handle. And Bills is the best team on the board, so I think I see Tug taking the Bills there.
Okay. All right, then I've got Steve. Steve's already been the Bucks, so they're out. So it's the Saints, the Cowboys, and the Ravens. Um, I just think at this point, like you got to take, like you said, the best team on the board. I have Steve taking the Ravens. Um, Easily to me the best team out of these 4. Um,
Yep.
and
I actually think he would not shy away from the competition either.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see him as being concerned with that. Um, I mean, he's actually having a really good season right now. I think he just missed out on the 2 seed. Um, and then in primer last season, he was in the NFC Championship game. So I don't think he's that worried about the competition to the point where he's going to pass up on the Ravens to take somebody like the Saints. So
Yep.
I think they're just too good compared to the other options that you're not even worried about competition at that point. All right, so AJ, you have Jshu.
I got JSU. Looking at the final remaining teams, I think I got JSU slotted in at the Bucks.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to play Matt anymore after what the taste he's gotten so far since he's joined. Um, so in comparing the Bucks to the Saints, I think the Bucks is by far the better team at this juncture.
Yeah.
So I got JSU to the Bucks.
I actually like the Bucks. I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield, but they picked up Emeka Ibuka. So you're gonna have him.
Yep.
You're gonna have Mike Evans. You're gonna have Godwin. You're gonna have Jalen McMillan. Um, and then I thought they had a pretty good draft, but then in the undrafted free agents, they signed. I can't remember his name. Is it Watson, the defensive tackle from Florida, that's like 485 pounds, something like
Yeah.
that.
Uh,
Like that
no
team
wonder you like him.
for him alone, that team I think probably goes higher than 30 here. Between the division's going to be kind of undesirable, so you're not going to get a lot of the top players going to those 4 teams. I think that's a great pick just for that defensive tackle alone. All right, so Straw, you're up with Trick. Saints
And
or
I think
Cowboys?
out of these 2 teams, I think you go with the Saints. I think the Cowboys are just they just don't look like a fun team to pick. I mean, yes, you still have
Oh, they
Carson.
tainted strong.
Yeah,
Was
They just had such a boring draft too. I mean, I think
they took
you
a
know,
guard. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. It seems like a lot of the Cowboys fans are real happy about that, you know, but I just don't think they look that fun. So I think from a Madden standpoint, I mean Micah Parsons is still a beast, and he's gonna be a beast. So whoever gets him, that'll be good. But yeah,
Yeah, I think them and the Saints are two of like the least, really the Bucks too. I mean, other than that massive defensive tackle, those three teams stick out to me as being just so much worse than everybody else. Maybe you could throw the Panthers in there too. Like not worse, but just there's just
Just
nothing
nothing
about them.
exciting there.
Yeah, like yeah, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons been around for 3 or 4 years now, and that's really all they have. You're stuck with Dak Prescott. He's like too good to get rid of, but you don't want to keep him because he's Dak Prescott and he's just not exciting. And the Saints, they just don't have anybody. So
Terrible draft too.
yeah. I mean, a terrible draft, at least for Madden. I don't even know who they picked in real life. But I think that's pretty good. And it feels like every time we do these way too early mock drafts, it ends up way closer than the one that we do like the week before.
yep.
So
All the smoke screens start coming.
yeah, the smoke screens start coming. Everybody starts buying them. Next thing you know, you're believing that Prime's taking the Bears at number one, and it just cascades from there. But so I think this is interesting. We've got still almost 4 months, 3.5 months till the new Madden comes out. So it's gonna be a while. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like a chore to get through these last 3 months.
Yeah, it always does.
As soon as the draft happens, I'm like, oh, let's see who we're going to take next year because I'm already looking forward to it.
Everybody's entire team is computer-generated players too. So.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. I'm sure it won't be long after this releases. We'll have somebody saying I would never take that team. So any guesses on who it's going to be?
Oh, let me see here.
Let me see.
Usually it's MYT, but he's not in this draft.
Finn's is probably saying he's not taking the Jags.
I could see Finn. I'm going to go with Mike.
I think Noel might say that.
Knowles
Just because you don't want to be in the same division he was just in.
Yeah. The other question is we have 32 on here, from Prime all the way down to Daz, who's the new Seahawks owner right now. We have 33 in chat. QP may come back.
Oh yeah.
MYT may try to come back. It'll be interesting to see what happens and
who knows what shakes up even.
Yeah.
We
don't even know who's going to make it the next 3.5 months. So
yep.
This list could look very different come July.
In all likelihood it probably will. So
yeah. I mean the order, I fully expect the order is going to change, at least a little bit, especially the guys like from Grimm down where they're all new guys, but they haven't really. I mean, right now I think they're just about in the order they came in. So, other than I think ZBD jumped up a bunch because he's done a lot of commentary. So we'll see how it goes. But let us know in the comments, or I'm sure you'll let us know in chat plenty if you don't agree or you do agree with the picks that we gave you. But thanks for being on, guys. Straw, good luck in your game. I know you got your game in about 15 minutes, so good luck with that so you can get in the playoffs. If you miss the playoffs and your draft pick gets a little better, I won't be upset, but I'll
yeah, we'll see. I think I had like 7 starters out, and they all came back. They were all out 4 or 5 weeks, and they all came back this week. So we'll see what happens.
All right, well, good luck because I saw Tug got the force win. Jay Shoe's power went out, so good luck in your game.
Dude.
Yeah, you gotta win.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I doubt anybody paid attention this far into it, but I'm sure we'll have another mock draft, and SML countdown episodes coming up. Thanks for watching, guys.